dude. Well, I go back in there, and that's when I text y'all. And then I tried to leave again, and I texted my wife. I was like, "You're gonna have to come over here. Like my daughter's old enough; she can go to bed. You know, he needs somebody. Apparently, he just would not close his eyes. That is not nearly. Are you muting me and unmuting me?
I fucking muted. I tried to mute myself, but I got you with.
This is. Damn it, Larry! Leave my mic alone.
He was out there lounging.
He talking about tonight.
He can screw up some microphone stuff. I tell you what,
dude. I got the 9 p.m. Can I get? You got a nail clipper for me? That's what the 9-year-old pulled on me tonight. It was like she's in bed at 9. She pushed. I'm like, she knew what I was doing, and I'm like, I gotta go. It's 9. Right. Cut your toenails tomorrow. Like
when we switched, when I came out of my son's room, my wife went in. She's like, Frankie wants you to hang out with her, and I was like, yeah, I'll tell her good night. She knows.
Yeah.
So I walked in. I was like, get in the bed, because she had come to the door with my wife. It's like, get in the bed. I gotta go record a podcast. Good night. See you tomorrow. Mwah, bye.
Yeah,
you're old enough. You can go to sleep.
So we should just get started, man. I mean, I'm on the clock in this Devy League.
I just finished a draft tonight, Larry. We got to talk about it.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my God.
It was unorthodox.
I still have to get my head around it because I forgot this draft was even happening. I'll get into it in a second, man. Let's just do this.
Yeah,
ready to
go,
go, baby. All right. Yeah. Welcome to the Dynasty Hot Sauce Podcast. I'm Larry Monkey. And you can find me on Twitter at FF Larry Monkey. I don't know what we got here tonight, but it's the huge. But I've never seen that T-shirt before. Is that a Salmon T-shirt again?
No.
Bringing that one back.
It's just the lighting. This one's straight forward.
Man, there he is, looking pretty good, man. I don't know. Got the gray work pants on, those shorts. Do you even own pants in
I try not to wear pants. You should know this already. Like I try as hard as I can not to wear pants.
Yes.
So shorts it is.
Oh, there he is. Oh, look at that. Burt Reynolds. That's right. Run DFF. Justin Rogers.
All I need is a cowboy hat, baby. Let's go. Or a trucker cap. It's all good. You can call me Burt, baby. What's up, man?
Just a busy day. Busy day in the world of kids not back to school yet. So lots of stuff.
We're almost 2 weeks into kindergarten down here. Mm-hmm. She started on August the 1st.
I know you guys do that early.
I had no idea. It didn't used to be that way. It didn't used to be that way. I tell you what.
But I don't know, man. What's going on? We should probably just get into this.
Yeah, we should probably introduce our guest.
Yeah.
He's got a B at the end of his name, but really he's an A.
An A. Not for me, man. Because when I see this guy's name, I think of one of the worst New York Jets draft picks in the history of their franchise.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, 1991 or 1992 running back, right?
FF Tommy B. Tommy Blair. Welcome to the show.
What's up, y'all? Justin, do you always podcast like this? I see you lounging in
I absolutely
a painting chair.
It's a trademark here. In fact, when I build my shop, I'm gonna have to get like some sort of, because I'm building a workshop and I'm gonna have internet out there. And that's where I'm gonna record my podcast. I'm gonna have to get some sort of like couch or something out there. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. How is the podcast hut, or what are we calling this anyway?
I don't know what to call it. We're gonna call it a "What the hell happened to my contractors?" Had to get a new contractor, and we're back.
You're not building like a log cabin for your pod. You're gonna have a podcasting cabin.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the biggest man cave in the history of man caves.
Wow. So, you're gonna open up a piece of the side of the house for like an outside bar, in and outside bar.
I'm gonna have 2 roll-up doors. We can make this happen, Holmes. 2 roll-up doors.
All right. So, well, hey, man, me and you could talk about we do this all the time. We got a special guest on tonight. You know, it's funny that Tommy B is on the show with us because Stevie D reached out to me a couple weeks ago after we already had
After we already booked Tommy, yeah.
after we had him booked already. Stevie D's just like, I'll read it to you, man. It's kind of flattering. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Good morning, Mr. Jersey, sir. Some food for thought for you, or not. Sometimes I just can't help but stick my nose where it doesn't belong as I listen to Superflex Dude on my long drive this AM. Have you ever asked Tommy B to come on the hot sauce? He has never done an auction startup, is talking about finding a co-manager to do one next season, and putting Tommy and the Mississippi hippie in the same room is burning into my brain. And I can't stop thinking about it.
Wow.
And I said, and my response was, funny you said that. He's scheduled to come on in 2 weeks.
Poor Stevie D. He's not going to be disappointed by Tommy, but he'll always be disappointed by me. I'm just telling you. I'm never going to be able to live up to whatever hype machine he tries to put me through.
Is that flattering, Tommy? A special message coming out to us like that?
It's among the more flattering messages I've ever gotten in DMs. I don't know about y'all, but I put some weird stuff out there on the Superflex Super Show with John Hogue, and not everyone is into it, and that's okay. You know, do what you do in fantasy and dynasty, and maybe life as well. But I appreciate it. Yeah, I've never done an auction. I know that you guys are a little more seasoned than I am, but I'm intrigued by it. There's a lot going on that is different, you know? And we can certainly break that down today if you want to. I'm not really sure why I'm here, what we're going to talk about today. But
Larry's as green in auctions as someone who's done. He might have done 100 and he's still green in auctions.
I'm definitely. I wouldn't call myself any kind of expert in the auction department. But when I hear about auctions, I always think of Run DFF because I know he's the auction guy. But I mean, I'm in one of those kitchen sink leagues, a Ryan McDowell league, and all those drafts are auctions. So
and he screws up every one of them. So
yeah, there's like a Devy auction, there's a restricted free agent auction, there's a UFA free auction. Like everything's an auction. So that's the extent of my auction stuff. I know how not to get screwed in an auction because I've gone down that path many times to the point where now I kind of know how to, hold my own and not just get stuck with the bag, right? That's because that's what you don't want, right?
Yeah, you never want to get stuck overspending on scrubs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's funny. I would have thought that you would have been way more into auctions with the kind of the kind of zig when other people zag kind of strategies that you do.
Like I'm a wheeler and dealer, so yeah, you would think that I would like to be throwing the stack around.
Nobody's talking about you, Larry. We're talking about Tommy.
Love it.
No, you don't zig or zag. You just flop. All right. Like a fish.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think auctions are probably not super suited to somebody who is trying to zig when others are zagging or whatever the expression is, because it's kind of an open slate. It's a system that wants to self-heal. It's a market where everyone has access to every profile that they could imagine. And all you have to do is put your hand up, like that to me feels too egalitarian for somebody who wants to be impish and want to screw over your league mates. Like I don't want a level playing ground. That's one of the things I love about either adopting orphans or being in snake drafts is you're kind of stuck. There's a form of consent to move into a certain space that doesn't exist in auctions, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, how do you guys approach auctions, like with your own types of strategies? Are you finding more access? Are you finding that it's easier to do what you want to do in an auction?
I think what you did was you misspoke about everyone being on an equal playing field.
More equal,
everyone may start out with the same amount of money, but no, there's definitely levels, and some people are not as good at auctions, and it shows. They'll overspend on one player and then cripple themselves for the rest. Whereas I think it actually makes tiers more important. Because if you tier based auction, you can really kill it. Like if you find that one value in the tier where you save $20 here or $40 there, or whatever, it makes a huge difference further down the line. You have to be player agnostic, but you just can't give a shit about what player you get. At least not in the big names. You can start targeting the guy, your guys later. But when it comes to like a tier of, okay, you got Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, you just ignore the names and look for the cheapest one. And then there's the like price checking and price enforcing, which that's a game in and of itself. Because if you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, then you get hung out to dry on holding a player that you may not have wanted. But there's a lot to it, and the timing of bids. A lot of people underestimate that. When you place your bids and how you bid. So one thing I like to do is reset a board all at once. And whoever comes in and resets players after mine, I never touch them. If I've got the top player on the board coming off, so like say there's 20 players, and mine is the third player coming off. If I don't care about the first two, I let them run. I let mine run. And even if there's 1 minute between mine and the next one, I let it run, and then I'll reset the board. I'll set an alarm and reset the board because I want everybody's money tied up in their players before so they can't bid mine up. There's a whole lot of little intricacies that I think you would be really good at if you really applied yourself.
Yeah, it comes down to a concept in my professional field called demand management. So like having the capacity to provide power instantaneous to whatever the demand is. It's very common in like manufacturing facilities. Utilities have to like build extra power plants because they see a peak surge in demand, one day in September and say like, all right, this is the new high watermark, When you're walking along the beach, there's that line of seaweed or trash or whatever. That's as high as the tide's ever been. Utilities have to do that as well. And I like to think that energy management plays a pretty central role in these types of market valuations and gains towards efficiency, or at least the pursuit of those gains. And demand itself, like understanding the cadence of when these players are coming off and what those profiles look like, both the ones that are taken, the ones that you could possibly trade into, even though they've already been won, quote unquote, won at an auction. That doesn't mean that they're locked away in a safe forever. Like maybe it's time to reinvestigate the assets that are already taken if you don't like the board, the way that it's looking. That's something that I've been really intrigued by. I've been talking with some of the Dynasty Underdog guys. They've got a Discord. And they've been getting deep into auction theory, which I think is just fascinating. It's not something I've done, and I think you need reps at it to be any good.
Yeah, I agree with that. You definitely need reps because the first auction I ever did, it didn't go great.
Yeah.
I ended up with some really awful quarterbacks and overspent on some older wide receivers that I shouldn't have with not great profiles for longevity. And it didn't go well. But what I did was I realized that quickly, sold everything I could. And that's the one thing about auctions is you don't have to worry about, did I get a first for that player? Can I get 2 seconds and a third? Because when you start adding that money up, you look, that's a first.
Yeah.
And when you start to accumulate money and then you become the big pot or, the shark at the table, that takes a different route in an auction. Whereas if you're just another guy in the auction, you don't have as much leverage, and auction leverage is huge. It's something that you'll never see in a draft the same way, is leveraging money.
Larry, what does the Venn diagram look like if you were to do, let's say, a snake startup draft and an auction startup? What does the overlap look like in terms of you implementing your strategy?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at players that I tend to just pick more my guys in an auction because I just feel like that's how I want to, you're not going to get sniped. You have the ability to not get sniped. So I want to build my roster having, who's ever being nominated, that plays a part in it too. Like, oh man, this guy is coming out already. Let me go for this guy.
Yeah.
Shane Manila is he?
See in the chat.
What's up, Shane?
Well, the patrons got a different title for the show. Let me see if I
I'm
can
afraid you
remember it. I
have to
forgot
put
it. Yeah, I just come inside from getting baked, and I think it was while my guitar, while my Tommy Blair gently weeps, I think was the name of the title of the show. That went out to the while my Tommy Blair gently weeps.
There you go.
That was the name of the show the patrons got sent. So yeah, they might pop in tonight. So yeah, join the Patreon while we're at it. You know, you get to jump into the show. So welcome, Shane. Nice to hear from you. Still got your Girl Scout cookies. We got to hang out soon.
Still have his freaking Girl Scout cookies?
I
Weren't
do.
those delivered
I know.
like
They came
6
almost a year
months
ago.
ago?
It's almost time for him to order another batch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's going to eat your Girl Scout cookies, Shane. There's no way you're getting these cookies.
No, they're on like the top of like this. They're way out of my reach. I have no interest in Shane's Girl Scout.
You're like
cookies.
6'5", Larry. What's out of your reach?
I'm not touching his Girl Scout cookies, man. I'm just not. I would never do that to Shane. Anyway. So I don't know, man. Like I said, there are guys I want and guys I don't care about as much. And it's like kind of the same as the snake draft, but you if you have your guys that you want to go after, you know. But yeah, I don't mess around too much in the auction space because the very first auction I got into, it was like the reason I don't play Frisbee, you know. One of the first times I played Frisbee with somebody, I hit in the face. I got like a fat lip from a Frisbee. I don't play Frisbee. You know, I got a fat lip in this first auction I got in. It was like a free Yahoo League, man. And I just got and these guys were douchebags too. So that played a part, you know.
Yeah.
I was like holding on to my money for too long. And I just totally, but like butchered this. And it just turned me off.
You gotta be ready for the fat lip. Because it's
Right.
coming.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you can't even mock
Yeah.
auctions. You know, like I don't know if you have ever done like those fast mock auctions on ESPN or anything.
But here's another quick
So
problem.
weird, but a dynasty auction is just like way different.
The other problem is, see, my problem. I like bidding people up, and then I'll get stuck with the guy that I had no interest in anyway. That's a big problem for me. Like I'll be like, fuck, I need to outbid this guy. We both are like neck and neck with cash, and I just want to stick him with a few more dollars on this guy, so I could just like, you know, lock in this guy, and then boom, now I got like some douchey guy that I had no interest in.
So Tommy, have you never been invited to a auction league, or have you turned some down?
I've turned plenty of leagues down. Yeah, so I've only ever in my life done 3 startups ever. I'm in 42 leagues right now. I picked up 39 orphans. I just figured out what I'm good at, and I bludgeon the hell out of people at that. And you know, I've been invited to play. I don't want to do startups. I don't really love the concept of a startup specifically, but the next league that I do join in its inception will be an auction league. I just want to try it out and see, see what that fat lip feels like, so to speak. Take my lumps and learn from it, because I think that's probably the best part of Dynasty is figuring out you're bad at something and trying to work your way up that hill of stupidity, tripping every step of the way, because like, this is a game. Like we're curious people. We're trying to figure these things out. Why else are we doing this? It's certainly not for football anymore at this point.
You know, I'm not good at startups either. And so what I do is I turn my startup into an orphan. I just immediately, I did a startup this year. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to treat this mug like an orphan. Give me some first round picks. Take a few players I like and say, I don't give a damn about the back end of this roster. No, I got like 7 or 8 players on that team that are even worth anything.
Yeah, same. I like just the sod. You know, that's my move. I just want sod in a dynasty startup. Build it all from the earth.
Yeah, I think I'd be fine at a startup. I don't think it's all that dramatically different. If you're a good manager, if you're a good trader, you're good at dynasty. That's a question I had for you guys about auctions. When does it change from an auction into just a regular league? In your opinion, like, is there a window, like this purgatory phase between when the auction has ended and we're just back to normal dynasty values?
Well, that depends. Is your rookie thing an auction or is it a draft? Because like I've done several that started as an auction and then they do rookie drafts afterward.
Mhm.
That changes things. But I don't know. I think it's less pronounced. The value thing is less pronounced in an auction versus a startup, because somebody would be like, I picked that player in the 7th round and you're trying to offer me a 9th rounder. Whereas an auction, it's like, oh, that was only like $3 cheaper, No.
Yeah. I'm sure that was a great answer. I paid zero attention to it because Shane
That's
is
fine.
in here.
Got Shane in the yeah. Damn it, Shane.
Yo, so me and Tommy B actually we're finishing up a draft right now. I don't know if you know this.
3 more rounds, yeah.
Me and him are in a
Jesus.
What are y'all doing?
we're in one of those DLF mock draft John Hogue things. And the best part of this draft is John Hogue is timed out already. He's got like his shit on auto pick right now. So I don't feel so bad if I miss a pick, because these mocks, sometimes they just fall off, and it's like they fall off for like 2 or 3 days. You're like, and it picks that back up again. You forget all about it. You're like, oh my God, I'm on the clock in this ADP mock. And I've timed out before, and I feel bad about it. So I always pre-draft in these ADP mocks. So, but I think I did time out once in this one for some reason. But John Hogue has also timed down this one, and he's the guy that organizes it. So
wait, hold on.
Sorry to throw you under the bus, Johnny. Friend of the show. Me and him hung out before.
Did you draft Colin Kaepernick?
I did. That was my auto. I auto picked my final pick. I was the last pick in the draft. So
wow.
I figured I didn't want to pay attention to this draft anymore.
Yeah.
So
you
auto picked the last pick.
Yeah.
And figured no one would have taken him. So I don't care. Now the draft is over.
Larry, I did a
tough one, man.
I did a live draft today, Larry, and I didn't want to be part of it either.
Did you really? Why'd you feel that way about it?
Well, because we were drafting my daughter's 6 and 7-year-old soccer team.
Oh,
and let me tell you how
those drafts are amazing. Those are the best kind of drafts.
No. Okay, first of all, I'm glad it didn't go this route, but they were going to have a skills showcase last week.
Oh.
And then you're going to rate players. But they canceled the skills showcase, and then we still had to rate players. I didn't know most of the players. But these other dads, because it was all dudes and like 2 women, and it's like 9 coaches. And the guys were like, that's an A. That one's a C. Definitely a C. Like we did A, B, and C players. And I was like, oh my gosh, please burn these sheets after we're done. I mean, it was awful. Like,
how old are these kids?
6 and 7.
Oh my gosh.
Like, this is way too serious.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy, like our daughters are best friends. So we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, had some wings, couple beers, and then headed to this draft. And we got there and we're like, this is way too serious. Holy crap. This is way too serious. Where are Frankie and Piper's friends? There. We want those 2. We'll figure out the rest. Like, we just tried to figure out who they knew in their age group. Like they were in the same daycare or whatever. I have never been to, I think that might have been like the weirdest, creepiest, I don't know, skeeviest thing I've ever done.
Oh, yeah.
Rating
6-year-old girls.
You've ever done.
Rating 6 and 7-year-old girls on their soccer skills. Felt so gross.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like a football draft.
No. You walked off as soon as I said 6 and 7-year-old girls, Larry?
Oh, I had to get a refill. No, I thought you were doing like a work draft almost, like with other dads.
No, that would have been way better. I do have 2 fancy football drafts this Saturday and Sunday. One Saturday, one Sunday.
This is the big one?
Wild Wings leagues. Live drafts, baby. Let's go.
I could have totally been in these leagues.
Yeah, and you know what? If we get a spot next year, we'll fly you down.
I have my wife and daughter are going on some Girl Scout trip to Hershey Park for the weekend. And I could have dropped Colin off somewhere. I could have totally been in both of these leagues.
I actually had 2 spots to fill.
I know, man. We've been talking about it since last year. Draft. You say we're going to kick the guy out.
You wouldn't
the dip during the draft.
You wouldn't. Yeah, I did.
Dipped out of the draft like when the draft wasn't even over yet.
So it's me and another guy. The other guy has his Saturday league. I'm in it, and then I have my league on Sunday. Every year we do the same thing. I'm in, and he's in my Sunday league. So it's 2 leagues based out of the same. I bartend part time at Buffalo Wild Wings. Tom.
Gotcha.
And so it's a bunch of regulars and stuff. And I had a last minute dropout like 3 years ago maybe. And he called his buddy up in New Jersey. He was like, "Hey, if you want in, it's whatever, and we'll set you up to draft." And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure." So he drafts fine a couple of years. In the last year, and like the 7th round, and it's only a 15 or 14 round draft. In the 7th round, he just disappears and doesn't answer his text, no calls, no nothing. First, we had like a 25-minute delay while we tried to figure out where this dude went.
Yeah.
And we just said, okay, well, we're going to kind of auto draft, but we can't because it's not on the computer. We just have to like take next best available. And so I told Vinny, the other commissioner, I said, he's out this year. You can tell him or whatever, but there's no way. Like, he's gone. I'm not dealing with him again. Like, you can't do that to me one time. I'm over it. There is no second chance.
No second chance.
Well, what happened? Where did he go?
I don't know. Still don't know. Vinny got hammered during the Sunday draft, so he doesn't know either.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think he ever asked him. He just like, whatever.
Yeah.
He was pissed. I was pissed, and he just started taking shots.
Does anyone got the alligator license? Did it come through yet?
No one I directly know. I know one of the girls that I know that got like a 12-foot alligator a couple years ago. She was going on a boat with somebody, but she didn't get drawn on, I believe. So
That was a quick alligator pivot there, Tommy. Sorry.
I'm a bit of a sportsman, and last year around this time I was out alligator hunting. So
really, did you get one?
I did not get drawn for a tag this year. Neither did my buddy.
Huh? How do you catch how do you kill an alligator?
With a gun.
Okay,
but so in Mississippi you have to snag it. So either with a rope or with like a fishing rod with a hook, and it's like a big treble hook, like half the size of your hand. So if you hold your hand out, it's like the palm of your hand, and you throw that in the water and try to snag the gator, and then drag him up. When you get into the boat, shoot him, tie him up, whatever. So I didn't get to participate. I got to play with it's nighttime, so I'm out there in the marsh and stuff, and I've got these little like 1.5 2 foot gators, but I never got to deal with the big one. My buddy I had to work on a Friday night, and he got about a 9-footer on his tag. So yeah.
I went out to eat this weekend. I don't remember where I was, honestly. But
did you get some gator?
There were gator bites on the menu, and I asked Cassidy, should we get some gator bites? And I said, Stephanie, you want to get some gator bites? It was down the shore. Yeah. I was just away for the week down the Jersey Shore on a family vacation, and one of the restaurants we were at had gator bites on the menu.
So you asked them instead of just ordering it.
I should have just ordered.
I already know you didn't get it because you asked your daughter and your wife.
I know. I should have just got the fucking gator bites. Dang it! And I should have took a picture of the fucking menu and sent it out.
You know what, Larry? Next year when you come down here, you're eating gator.
I have tried gator, man. I had like a gator sausage in New Orleans one time.
Oh well,
whatever it's called. There's some gator. What is it?
Andouille?
No, just a gator thing on a stick, man.
Oh, you just said gator on a stick.
It's on a stick. It's like a sausage.
Anything. Gator on a stick, chicken on a stick, whatever you want.
Where you live, Tommy?
Grew up in Alaska, but living in North Carolina now. So no gators up in Alaska. Just about every other animal.
So what team do you root for? The Alaska Huskies? What team you root for in the lower 48?
I'm actually a season ticket holder of the Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams. Been a fan since '95.
Are you just exposing yourself that you don't listen to the Superflex Super Show, Larry?
It's fine. Nobody does. Nobody does,
dude.
I do.
I don't listen to that.
I listen specifically for Dr. Caitlin Fanning. Like
I'm too busy listening to fucking was it Charged Up? What was the name of that Chargers one that I was listening to?
I don't know. So you listen off the wall crap.
Listen, I listen to the Super Show once in a while, but not enough to know that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's probably a good thing.
I was on the Superflex Super Show, actually.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Yeah.
Before
you weren't on it.
It must have been before my time. I've only been on for a year or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost feel like if you leave us a rate and a review, guys, if you really like the show. If you don't like the show, then don't leave a rate and review.
Yeah. Just ignore that part of it.
Not that you make it this far, but yeah, this could be the reason why I don't listen to the Super Show. And I do listen to the Superflex Super Show, but if I wasn't to listen to the Superflex Super Show, check this out. If you look at the Dynasty Hot Sauce review, this motherfucker listened to the Superflex Super Show and then leaves a review on our fucking site.
No, really?
This is the title. 1 star. Heard this dude talk on Superflex Super Show. His laugh was unbearable. I don't know if it was real or fake, but I can't imagine hearing it weekly.
Oh, that's so good.
That's a fucking review for the Hot Sauce Pod. And the 1 star. He's not even listening to the show. He caught me on fucking your show and was like, I have to go to their show and review on their one.
That's a lot of work.
You're right. We have not asked for reviews in I don't know how long. Look, rate and review the podcast, guys.
Oh, it was a good one, not this fucking rubbish.
Yeah.
Maybe my laugh. I was like, I have to do fucking 20 laughs tonight. If I don't meet that quota. I practiced in the mirror, so I'm like, this will be for the, when we're talking about like ADP talk, this laugh, that, and then I'll do my own special the Hot Sauce Listener League laugh that I do. So I have a lot of I have a lot of
that one,
fake laughs. Loads of fake laughs on the show.
Dude, I love it. Whoever left that review, I owe you a beer. DM me. I gotta know you.
Name and tell me.
I mean, really, you had to go search for our podcast, then write the review off something you didn't even listen to the podcast. It's great.
I wonder if dude. That was a great show. It made me go back and listen because I was like, what is this guy so pissed off about?
Yeah.
What was funny is that me and John recorded this show, and like 30 minutes in, it was like we chatted for like 4 hours, but the first like hour or two, something fucked up on his end. He's like, "Oh my god, I didn't record any of that," and we have to start over. Then he was pissed. It was like cutting out. It was best. He was like pissed, and so I was trying to fucking bring it. So I brought it extra hard. Not I brought it too hard for this guy apparently. So
it's not for everyone. That's for sure.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Tommy doesn't know about those though. He gets
obviously, yeah, I know. And all of a sudden, Tommy Blair's on the show. I don't know if this is, are you? What's your handle again?
I don't want to say it on this show. I don't want someone to leave a bad review on it.
Anyway, what a douche. Yeah, make sure you fucking call this bitch out on your show, man. I'll just come back on and just drink 2 bottles of wine this time instead of just 1.
You guys ever think you're recording shows and just nothing happens? You go through StreamYard or whatever, and there's just a blank space. I forgot. I have forgotten to hit start, I think, and we were just like, or I cut it out. I don't know. Yeah, I've messed up a couple times over the years.
I'm diligent about like, hey Larry, we're not recording. Larry, hit the record button. I'm pretty diligent about that. So it doesn't happen often. More often than like the random mute button, and Larry spits out an entire thought without.
Well, yeah, and so the patrons get the feed for. They get to watch this live. That's like one of the perks of becoming a patron. And I don't know. I forgot.
That's how you end up with Shane in there.
Yeah.
In his lovely comments. So we get it live. So we kind of make sure that it's going so that they can. And if a patron comes in and they're like, hey, when are y'all starting? And we're like, 10 minutes in, like, oh crap.
But sometimes I'll do that. And in the beginning, when we started to do that with the patrons, I would hit start, but instead I ended it because it was already live. Because what we do for the patrons, as soon as we get together, we hit live. And that's how we like. So they can share the BS before the show and stuff, and they're in the chat, so we can kind of like all BS together. And so you get to get that behind the scenes stuff, and then I'll be like, all right, let's start the show, and then I'll be like, oh fuck. I hit the wrong button. So
you're doing everything. You're doing Superflex Super Show. What day do y'all record that?
It depends. We try to release it like Thursday or Friday mornings, and so most of the time we're recording on Tuesdays.
And you're doing Junkies as well.
I'm doing Junkies as well. Yeah,
that's Thursday nights, right?
That's Thursday nights at 9:30 Eastern. It's fun. They're two entirely different shows, and I
Very
kind of
cool.
like that. I like trying to be a different type of fantasy analyst because like it's easy to get into a rut. I don't know if you guys feel that way where it's like you just talk about the same shit every single week. It's good to have different voices, different formats, different ways of trying to approach the game, you know?
Yeah, one is very like process oriented
Yeah.
with a little bit of player, and the other one is very, very player oriented.
Yeah.
So it requires you to do two different things for sure.
And you are a QBX guy.
No, that's understating it. Please tell him, Tommy. Please tell him.
I roster the top 5 quarterbacks. I don't bother with the quarterback 12, the quarterback 9. No, I roster quarterbacks 1 through 5 in my
Yeah,
build.
that's his goal.
Yeah.
But
it
aren't
happens.
but how often does the top 5 kind of shift and like a two other guys slip into the top 5? Or isn't there like a
Yeah.
really like a top 7, top 8? I mean, how many? Let's call it tiers instead of like 5, right?
Yeah.
How many tiers of guys would you like maybe consider?
I get where you're coming
Look
from.
at it if you looked at it from that way.
Yeah. And it's not even market value because I think market value is bullshit for the most part. I don't like approaching the trade market with regards to quarterback. They're unicorns relative to the rest of the game. And so it's really perceived outcome, you know, how good have these profiles been in the past. Joe Burrow, I think, is a really good case study in this, where like he's hit 2 top 5 finishes. That really, really matters. Yet he's not valued as a top 5 quarterback in a lot of consensus ADPs. He's a top 5 guy to me. And there is an accordion effect. Sometimes there are fewer than 5 quarterbacks that fall into that threshold for me. Sometimes there are a few more. Right now it's about 7 or 8. So I try to collect 5 of those.
Did you say Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm in a draft, like a redraft, an annual redraft league. This is actually it's called the State of America Fantasy Football League. It's a Black Crows
Nice.
league with Joe Wandy, if anyone knows him. He dips into the Twitter world once in a while. He runs this league. Anyway, the only reason I'm interrupting you is because this is a super flex. I got Joe Burrow with the 305 with third round reversal.
Nice.
I had the 106 and I took Pat Mahomes. Like all the first five picks were not quarterbacks. Anyway, so this is almost like you could almost call this like a work league type of
Okay.
I guess. But anyway, Joe Burrow, like to your point, it was obviously exaggerated in this draft, but Burrow falling to the third round. Like I went Mahomes, Chase, and then Burrow on the third round reversal, the 6th pick. So yeah, Burrow is somebody you want to snag, and he's my fishbowl guy also, because if you look at the fishbowl scoring, and then you look at 2022, if you apply those settings to the 2022, Burrow's fucking right at the top.
What's the head shaking for over there, Tommy?
I can't get behind your team. So for the listeners, we're in the same league, aren't we? We just kind of fell into the same league. And man, our teams could not look any more different. One of us is really wrong. I'll say that.
Yeah, you're in the same Scott Fish division, Larry. Yeah. We talked about this.
That's right.
Yeah.
The fishbowl was one of the worst drafts experience I've ever had in my life.
It was brutal. We had 9 timeouts. I counted them. 9 timeouts.
When it was all said and done, that was it. You know?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be here? See, we were looking at the timeline of like who was taking and who wasn't, and you had like 52 minutes total or something like that, Tommy. Like it was like there was one guy that just pre-drafted everything because he had 0 minutes wait.
Yeah.
No, I brought it right now. That might have been me.
No, you did great. You did pretty good as far as that goes. Like, and who even cares about this? The fact that we're even talking about it should tell you how absurd that this draft was. Like, I didn't make my first pick. And it's funny because you had the first pick and I had the 12th pick. So we were like on the opposite ends of the spectrum this whole draft.
Totally.
But
it was nice being on the ends though. If your draft is just like lagging, taking forever, people are timing out, at least being on the edges, you get a double tap and like bail out for 3 days.
Right. But there were some guys in the middle of this draft sandwich that were they just like took advantage of the time frame. It was really unfortunate.
They're contemplative men and maybe some women as well.
I can't see this. What the heck are you trying to
Man,
show?
you do this every time, man.
Look at that beautiful first pick. Wow, Josh Allen.
I got him with
Bold.
the second pick. So
Yeah, real ballsy pick that with the first one, man. Really zagging on that one.
Uh-huh.
But hold on, let's just go. Let's take a look at old Tommy.
Yeah,
B.
roast my team. You never roasted my team.
Oh yeah, that's right. Allen, Andrews, Daniels, Pitts. Oh, look at this guy with his bully tight end strategy.
Wow.
Do you even remember this draft? It was so long ago.
No, this is a revelation for me.
It was a month and a half ago. It looks like.
well, it was like a month and a half between the first pick and the 22nd pick.
Right. I know. And obviously we talk about the fishbowl during as it's happening, and God, I mean, we were talking about it forever. I just thought I muted Run DFF again. Uh-oh.
No, I've got the tap dancer and the cat screaming. So
we're not even talking about Jared Goff. Tommy, every time Jared Goff comes up, the dog starts tap dancing. Oh, wait a minute.
No, that the cat starts meowing.
Cat starts fucking howling. That's right.
Yeah.
Jared Goff. The cat.
She must be hungry because my wife walked out of the bedroom, like out of my son's bedroom, and I'm muted, and all of a sudden it's meow, meow, meow.
There you go.
Just up and down. Yeah.
I went Cordell Patterson, huh? Trying to get that return yardage.
I knew Jalen Warren was going to be injured and had to get that handcuff to Najee Harris.
Wow, that's a slick move. Obviously now.
He did what he should do, which is go heavy running back late.
Yeah.
But you might have missed out. How many kickers did you take?
2. That's all you need.
You missed out.
No, 2's fine.
Did you see how much those kickers are scoring?
Kickers are fucking right up there, man. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Kickers.
And they're mediocre. Who the hell's Cam Little? Is he even the starting kicker?
He's the starter for the Jaguars. Yeah.
Some of these guys get cut,
He's actually booming 50-yarders, which is crazy because he's like 5'10", 145 pounds. Football looks bigger than him.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah, we were talking about kickers pretty much the whole fishbowl. And I was excited to jump on the kicker bandwagon, seeing that how they score like 17 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Boom.
Yeah,
one of these guys might not be a starter, but I think Jake Bates has locked it up, and those motherfuckers are going to score a ton of points. As is the Cowboys. They're always scoring points. The Dolphins are scoring a lot of points. I took a shot on like the.
We don't know about the other two. Yeah. You're gonna end up having some good bye week flexes. We'll see what your ceiling is like.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys did build entirely different teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I did get Burrow on this one. The 301 on the reversal. Nice. Okay. That was my first QB.
Yes.
It's funny, I don't remember any of this. And I took Goff. The Goff Laporta stack.
Yeah.
You're in a little trouble with that Shaheed pick, isn't he? Isn't he injured?
Is he?
I didn't make fun of him for that. That was a little bit of.
I only care. Listen, I was jumping on the Shaheed bandwagon. Fuck it. When you have the bookend like that, you're just like, it's very easy to take a shot on a guy because he's not coming back to you. And this was like the Shaheed territory. And I was like, you know what? This dude was like a top 25 guy in the scoring last year. If he could sniff that, if he could even like be a top 50 guy, I feel like that's worth it. I mean, this guy was like 300-point scorer, that's like golden. That's like the golden tier for this format.
Yeah, you're shooting for 300 points a person or whatever.
Right.
You were
shot. Look at this stack. Levis Ridley. How about that one?
Are you a set it and forget it guy, or do you like to tinker with your rosters and play matchups?
I haven't set a lineup in 2 years. I play lineup leagues. I just led.
I haven't set a lineup in 2 years. Did you hear that?
You use a man.
Say that?
I don't worry about it. It's great. I'm among the most accurate in my leagues because I just fall into consensus. It's more accurate than trying to sharpshoot. And so I just use the Fantasy Pros. They have like an autopilot or something.
Yeah.
They set all my lineups for. I don't even think about it anymore. I was in championship games and didn't even think about it.
Oh man, the amount of anxiety that would cause me to not be able to not micromanage my at least championship league. I could see it during the year, but like by the championship week, you're down to like 6 teams or something. Like,
Yeah.
I got to
Wow.
be in the hands on.
So you don't you're in no lineup setting leagues?
I'm in only lineup setting leagues. I just don't set lineups.
He
Oh.
uses Fantasy Pros lineup setting tool, so
Yeah.
just rank his players or just use the consensus and it sets his lineups.
I don't have that many choices either, to be honest with you. The way I build my teams, I have like the minimum number of wide receivers, and so they're always in my lineup.
Yeah.
And if I were to do it, it would just be which running back am I going to be flexing this week?
Right.
And they're usually pretty obvious too. So like, I don't want to give these automated tools too many flowers because they're pretty easy and simple lineup decisions. But if you're someone who wants more balance, I could see being at the controls a little bit more.
Oh, I'll tell you, that sleeper, and I am not a sleeper person, but I did happen to get into a sleeper division on SFB by accident, and I joined a league with one of our patrons. Justin Mercer started one, and I joined his sleeper league, and they did roll out a great tool for this season. It's auto subs, so you can go ahead and set an auto sub, and if it's 11:55 in the morning and you haven't checked for me, our game started at noon. If it's 1:00 Eastern and you haven't gotten to your lineups, you could always have set your auto sub. So if a player is declared out, boom, your guy goes in, your sub. So
it's going to force people to build more balanced teams, and I don't love that. It negates the people who are on the absolute fringes of roster construction. So I'm a little hesitant to buy in fully on this new sleeper setting, but it's intriguing. It changes the game.
It does. It changes the game especially for people who set 20 or 30 lineups.
Yep.
Versus, because that is key. Like we always ask people, how many lineup setting leagues are you in? Because the best ball leagues don't matter. They don't affect anything on your Sunday morning. But if you're manually setting lineups, that's a massive deal for Sunday mornings. You go through the week, all week long, checking your lineups, making sure. And then Sunday morning, it's like that last 10-minute panic. Did I get them all? Whereas if you're just doing it like you, take the easy way out.
Yeah. I can't imagine why people still set lineups in the year of our Lord 2024. Like, screw that. That is the worst part of fantasy football, in my opinion. Like, nothing good ever happens. You either get it right, and of course you're supposed to, or you get it wrong and you're kicking yourself for 7 hours on a Sunday.
I think people should consider adding some value to the kick returner position once they see how this kickoff works itself into the game.
Well, I think what we're going to see for sure, Scott Fish did it this year, and it should be interesting to see how week one waivers go and what we actually learn, because we didn't learn anything in this preseason. It was so vanilla, and coaches didn't want to show anything, that I think we're going to see something in week one. It's like, oh, hey, that guy. But, Outhouse has been doing kick return yardage in his trade addicts leagues for years now. And I mean, it's not extreme, but there's value there.
I have so Tommy, I have a town dads league that I created last season. I call it the Daddy-O's, and there's a 14 team with some like serious bells and whistles to the settings, just like stuff that we all love, like big time tight end premium and super flex, stuff like that. Big 2-point, big tight end, like first down and stuff. Anyway, I had return yardage set in, like to the point where Raheem Mostert last year was a factor, but not that much of a factor. But this year, I bumped it up a little bit, just to make it, just to give a little spice to those, third and fourth receivers that also return kicks. Why not give them a little love? If there's going to be some extra yardage to be accumulated, well, why not give them some points for it?
Yeah.
You know,
I looked at at the Trade Addicts settings early this offseason because I was curious about what the kick return yards meant in the league where they were experimenting with this. I don't remember if it was the XFL or UFL, whatever the B team league was. And I transposed that to the kick returners in the NFL. And it's looking like in Trade Addicts scoring, like a 90-point seasonal bump at the very top for kick returners.
Yep.
And even more at the bottom, just because there weren't enough footballs returned in the NFL last year. So the floor is going to get much higher with these kick returners. And if you're talking about 90 points plus 100 points, like that becomes significant to where we're going to see a serious flattening of the production curves at wide receiver and sometimes running back as well. I'm really interested in the running back part. Like if we can get Antonio Gibson relevant at the running back position, that's going to be a huge difference maker in my opinion, because they're so cheap right now and you can differentiate that extra 90 points at running back more effectively than you can at wide receiver.
Yeah, you can offset that for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and that is the good thing about return yards is that you can find points in places where you couldn't find them in the normal league.
Yep.
You know, whereas Antonio Gibson is basically worthless, except as a, you know, if Brian or not Brian Robinson, he's not there anymore. If I just went blank.
Oh,
90
Dalton
points.
Kincaid.
90 points is the difference between AJ Brown and Jaden Reed. 90 points is the difference between AJ Brown and Jacoby Myers. That's a pretty big gap.
So I'm in the middle of a Devy draft right now, and I am on the clock. And there's a number of guys that, I mean, now this is the Devy draft occurred in May, right after the NFL draft, I believe. And then the 6th round, it's a Devy depleted league. It's a run and gun, call it the Scott Connor League. It's really one of my favorite leagues to play because it's a Devy depleted league. So you have the college component, and you can take shots on guys, and it affects the rookie draft because you could draft 12 Devy guys before the rookies. So there are rookies that are in your traditional rookie drafts that are already on people's teams, but sometimes if some guys slip through the cracks, like you have like a Jaden Daniels or a Joe Burrow was a pick. Anyway, way back when. So that's the type of draft that I'm in right now. 12 team, 1.75, 2 tight end league. Anyway, the 6th round of this rookie draft occurs now. And I have the 3rd and 5th picks, and it's a full 12 pick round, but only 6, the first 6 are Devy. So I have the 3rd and the 5th pick. So I'm on the clock right now. There's all the the big time Devy guys are gone, so I'm kind of taking shots right now. But Run DFF was like when I kind of shook it, threw the info his way. He was he was leaning a little Jackson Arnold, and was like, I can't believe this guy hasn't been drafted yet. What the hell? But Jackson Arnold, are you that high on this guy right now?
He's the number 1 or 2 QB in 2026.
Oh yeah. Now Tommy B, we haven't even talked about it, but where do you you have any Devy stuff going on in your head? Any Devy leagues?
Not a bit. I'm fascinated by it. I think that's probably where Dynasty is going to be going moving forward over the next number of years. Yeah. I just haven't taken the plunge yet. It feels to me like, I mean, even further than the auction format, like, oh my God, there's a learning curve that I don't want to jump into right now.
Yeah. I just watched Justin Field try to kill one of his receivers right now with 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter of a preseason game.
Right. What else is
a 40-yard bomb, and he overthrew it, and the wide receiver tried to catch it, and it looked like he dislocated both of his shoulders.
Sorry to interrupt. That's what Justin Fields does. So,
yikes. But anyway, I'm on the clock right now. So
I gave you 2 names.
Okay, give me some names. I'll give you. Okay,
and I gave you Micah Hudson.
Micah Hudson is I think is way. Oh, actually, no. You know what's funny? You're right. Micah Hudson. I have to lean on my Yeah, he's a steal. He was in this kitchen sink draft.
He's still sitting there.
He's still
Now,
sitting there. You're
he's
right.
young. It's going to take a couple. You're going to
I
have to sit
mean,
him
yeah,
for
but
a
he's
full year.
supposed to be like big time stud.
Yeah, the stud. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd like him over Jackson Arnold, honestly.
It really depends on what your risk is, like how risk averse you are, because you're looking at another year out. Whereas everybody, I mean, I think everybody's projecting Jackson Arnold will be a top 5 NFL pick. And there's just so much that can happen with a guy who's going to be a freshman this year.
Well, that is the Devy. That's the allure of the Devy
Oh,
world.
yeah.
Like you draft these guys and you're like, oh, I got this guy. He's my guy. And now he's your college guy. So you have him. He's your baby. Then all of a sudden he turns into what's his face? Zach. Oh, fuck. What's his name, dude? My team.
Zach Wilson.
No, not that guy.
Oh, Zach
Jesus. No, the
What?
other Zach, that's a bust. That at one point was like Zach Evans.
Oh,
Zach
jeez.
Evans back in the day was like supposed to be this, top running back, and he just turned into nothing. And that's the Devy, like that's the other. That's sometimes you get a Zach
Larry,
Evans.
I was in a league. I'm in a league, and actually, right now, Ruben is posting about it in the Patreon. He pulled up like a little analyzer, and Dickie and I both went hard on the Devies this year. I have 21 Devy players on my roster, and I think the league right now rosters something like 70 or 80 Devies. I have 21 of them on my team, so I feel you. I am all about the hopium. I have one player on my roster that's startable right now, and that's Travis Kelce. And for the life of me, no one will trade for him. And it's a 2.0 tight end premium in a 14-teamer. I'm like, somebody's going to want this guy. But I couldn't trade him for auction money. And I mean, people were taking guys that likely are 5th and 6th round players instead of trading me their rookie money. It was gross. They're like, I'd just rather would take this shiny box of mystery that is really pretty lackluster rather than take Travis Kelce off my hands.
Yeah, I'm going Micah Hudson. I mean, I forgot about him actually.
Yeah, it's not a bad.
He was a big pick in this kitchen sink league. I had my eye on him. Yeah, you're right, Micah Hudson.
So auctions next? You're not forecasting Debbie in your immediate future, Tommy?
I got young kids. I'm trying to podcast once or twice a week. That feels like enough.
That's way too much.
I've got a marriage to maintain here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Also, I'm amazed right now. You guys are talking about a kid who just left high school.
Yeah,
right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus. So in 4 years, are college players, are you anticipating they're going to be old as dirt coming into the NFL?
Well, I mean, a lot of these 5-star guys, they carry it still, unless your name is Malachi Nelson, right? I mean, that doesn't mean
yeah, no, I think it's a little easier to project wide receivers than it is quarterbacks, than it is running backs, and then you can't project tight ends at all. Like, don't even bother.
Unless they're coming out like the following year.
Yeah, they got to be coming out. And I did that. I took 2 tight ends late, so I think I got 3 total. But both of them are coming out, or 2 of the 3 are coming out this next year, hopefully. Because I'm not trying to project some freshman tight end. I won't even bother with that.
That doesn't make sense.
That's dumb.
Unless he's some super.
Does that mean that y'all are drafting more tight ends in that rookie draft that was happening separate to the Debbie drafts? Are you finding more tight ends are drafted there?
No, because even though the tight ends are, questionable commodities, by the Debbie draft the year before, most people have already identified the tight ends that are coming out.
Gotcha.
So the Theo Johnsons, like I had him on a roster. The Michael Mayers, all those guys, of course Bowers, like all those guys are already identified because there's just not that many breakout senior tight ends. It happens. Trey McBride, not senior, but
Micah Hudson, love it, dude. Yes, he's on my team now.
Nice.
Congratulations, dude.
Well, because in the kitchen sink league, I tried to. I just went because I'm like, why is his name resonating with me? because again, like I'm not a super college football guy at all, Tommy. Like you don't have to be a Devy guy, but it's cool to be have a piece here and a piece there because you're just like you see the highlights randomly on ESPN. You're like, oh, it's my guy, it's my fucking Devy guy.
There is no better feeling than having a guy in your Devy roster, and then he gets drafted early in an NFL draft. Larry, if you look at that wide receiver list right now, I have Evan Stewart, Luther Burden, Tara McMillan, and a couple other guys. I didn't get Branch. I might have got Jeremiah Smith. I don't remember. But I have like 5 or 6 of the top 12 Devy wide receivers.
Yeah, it's exciting when those guys hit, but sometimes they don't.
It's like, all right, when one of these guys gets drafted, it feels so good.
So on the flip side, the first year I got in this league, this was the draft, right? And it's like, okay, the top 2 guys in the Devy world are Jamar Chase and Rondell Moore. Those are the top 2 guys.
Oh no!
At the time, those are the top 2 guys. Like if you took one guy, the next guy was getting taken. And I'm lucky enough in this particular league because I do have Rondell Moore in some other spots. I ended up with Jamar Chase. So yeah, I haven't really sniffed the playoffs in this league, and I have rebuild. This is my second time like restocking with a lot of Devy guys because I get excited about the Devy guys, and a lot of them don't hit honestly, or they're second round picks. You know, you have to hit on first round picks. You know, they have to be first round rookie picks.
What types of teams win when you have this Devy component in your leagues? Is there a trend that you sort of build up through this Devy phase, and then you have NFL players, and it's a year or 2 from there? Like, is this a long build, or is this something where you can be more nimble, and some people have 22 Devy players, and some people have all vets? Like, how does that work?
Well, that's my that's a strategy of mine when it comes to Devy, because again, I'm not a big college guy. So in this particular kitchen sink league, I just loaded up on Devy and rookies because I'm like, it's going to take me forever to figure out the rules to this league. So I'm just going to go this direction. I do that. That's another reason why I draft young. Sometimes the settings are fucking crazy.
Well, so. Tommy, do you like when you take over an orphan, you purge it down, I'm assuming?
No.
And try to get picks. You go the other way?
Yeah.
You let it ride, huh?
Yeah. I figure if I can be mediocre, the skill in trading and waivers and being more diligent and rostering, having sound fundamentals in roster construction, I can turn a middle tier team into a great team in a year. So
dude, Tommy goes.
I like to break a team down and turn it into picks, but then I don't necessarily want to make those picks.
No.
I want to use those picks as a commodity. I can do the same thing with Devy. There's so much hopium in the Devy space that next year when I have a bunch of these 2026 players, I may be able to convert them into a player that I can use in a thing. You know, if I have to hold them because the market isn't there, I don't have a problem doing that. But if I can move them for a commodity, then I will. Like I made a trade in that league this last week with Shane, actually, and it was him doing that exact thing. So he traded. Let's see here. He traded me Michael Penix and Quinshon Judkins, and he got Tua and Theo Johnson, which Theo Johnson meant nothing. But so basically Tua for Penix and Quinshon Judkins. And all I was thinking was, and I'm a Falcons fan, so I don't have any shares of Penix. So I was like, well, let me grab a share of Penix. And now I have also a day 1, possibly early day 2 running back in next year's draft because Judkins is, some super stud, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Now, what happens next year when Judkins is up there and I can move him plus another guy for a Breece Hall or something like that because he gets drafted in the 25th pick overall or something. I have that ability to make that move. I may not. If he's a running back that gets drafted in the first round or early second, I may just hold him because the production is probably there. But I don't know. And the same thing happens if Michael Penix gets the starting job. I may move him for 2 pieces that, maybe 2 Devy pieces or something like that.
I gotcha.
Yes, I think it's just a different kind of market because you don't have the same kind of flexibility.
Interesting.
picks obviously can be anything, but Devy players are specific Devy players. So you don't know if you really have a first-round pick there or if you have a third-rounder.
Treylon Burks was like the 101 at one point in the Devy world. And
Yeah.
Really?
where we are with him.
If you didn't sell him before, you got hosed.
I think
Another guy, N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry was the number one Devy.
everyone got screwed. Everyone got screwed on that guy.
Yeah. But that's the difference between if you had the 101 or 102 versus if you had N'Keal Harry on your roster. You know, because there was a lot of people that took Josh Jacobs that year instead of, I think it was that same year. So,
Do you guys ever trade back in years on the Devy side so that your players are in essence never drafted? So you're maintaining liquidity and sort of cashing in on that hopium, like you said. Like you don't ever have to find out if the guy is going to become a first round pick because you're just pushing back and taking a little bit of a little something on the side for the time value component.
Kicking the can.
Yeah.
I would be interested in how you can convert that into a usable roster at some point.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to do that with NFL players, but you can't do anything with these guys right now. You know, like there's the campus to Canton leagues, and that could work on that front, especially if you really focus on that, while people that were more NFL oriented wanted to go that way. But the only problem with that I see is that how much plus can you get? Can you get a lineup difference making plus? Because if you're just getting small pluses, you're not making gains on your lineup. You know what I mean? That's the only issue I have there.
The equation would be what you're getting if you just carry these assets through, versus that plus the extra liquidity to sort of throw it all at somebody when you're making your big push, when someone else falls out of contention in week 7, let's say.
Right. Yeah, and those are the kind of teams I like to target. I like to identify them, and hopefully they've identified themselves early on. That's the key right there. They have to identify themselves before any move can be made.
Yeah.
You know, if they're just in denial, I'm 3-4, but I'm still there. Like, oh well, we're just gonna hang tight on you. Then I'm 2-5, but I've got so many points against. Okay.
So what do you like about the Jaguars this year? I mean, who's the give us shake out the wide receiver room for us?
Yeah, happy to. So here's what I've said is Calvin Ridley was a bad date with Trevor Lawrence that lasted 18 weeks. Like we get the highlight videos or the low light videos, I guess, of the ball doinking off of Ridley's hands and fumbles and like all these horrible plays. But truth be told, he was kind of league average when it came to the ball hitting his hands. It was all the stuff that happened in the route tree that was so screwed up where they were never on the same page. The option routes like never aligned with what Trevor Lawrence was thinking versus what Calvin Ridley was thinking. And the reason this matters is because Trevor Lawrence threw to his first read 77% of the time, which was tops in the league. And his number one target in those first reads was Calvin Ridley. And so what I think is happening is just an incredibly inefficient offense that has so much potential to grow just by his departure. Not saying Ridley is good or bad. It just didn't work. They weren't aligned. And so by not targeting Calvin Ridley and spreading those targets evenly across Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Gabe Davis, I think we're going to see a more efficient offense by default because it couldn't have gotten much worse. When you look at when Lawrence was targeting any other receiver or Evan Ingram, it was actually a pretty efficient offense. And so my thought is if Christian Kirk is healthy, he's looked really good aside from a slight injury that just cropped up last week. Training camp buzz is like, he's back. He's the leader in this wide receiver core. Brian Thomas Jr., he's apparently an odd guy. Like everyone keeps trying to pull some personality out of him and he's like very shy and reserved. I'm not sure what's going on with him. It's hard to get any information out of Brian Thomas. So I don't have a good feel for him. Haven't seen enough in the preseason to really make a definitive conclusion. Not that we can with anybody. And I think Gabe Davis is probably in for some sort of 800-yard and 7 touchdown season, which is certainly streamable in certain formats.
What about Evan Ingram? Where's he fit in here?
It's amazing. When he left New York, all of the New York Giants Twitter bros, they were laughing that he got such a big contract from the Jaguars, overpaying to get some guy who was just horrible with drops.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any of that. We've seen a pretty good blocker and a very reliable receiver. The drops have not manifested in Jacksonville. And Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Trevor Lawrence, they went on vacation like they're best buds. Like they hang out all the time. I know that stuff shouldn't matter, but it kind of does when you just gave $250 million to the franchise quarterback. I think Evan Ingram has 2 or 3 years of rope left with the Jaguars and over 100 targets, which is exactly what you're looking for at the tight end position, is being first or second read and over 100 targets per. Who's the tight end guru on Twitter? You guys know who I'm talking about?
As soon as you say his name, I will. But
I can't wait to follow him.
Well, I'm gonna look him up. Andrew Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I still have real high hopes for Evan Ingram this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because they replaced Calvin Ridley with Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. and they're just two guys that likely don't demand targets. So I mean, Gabe Davis has never demanded targets. Brian Thomas apparently is so shy that the quarterback forgets who he is.
It's true, yeah, and they're going to throw it 650 times. That's a high passing volume offense, which like those are the things you should be seeking out at the current ADPs that all these guys are going at.
Right. Yeah. Yikes. I don't know. I don't know if I want Brian Thomas after hearing that glowing review, but I think Evan Ingram really. I mean,
and Christian Kirk.
Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk could be steals, right? If you're going to
see, Christian Kirk is a value. Like Christian Kirk's a guy you can get on the low. He's sneaky cheap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if you're going to go find a guy that can do 1,100 yards and like 85.
That was my last pick in this with the 9-5, the ninth round. I grabbed Christian Kirk in this, draft him in there.
He only works. You got to put him in your lineup, though. I can't stand when people draft Christian Kirk as their 7th or 8th wide receiver and he never hits the lineup. Just get the guy in there.
Yeah, that's the problem with those kind of builds.
Yeah,
when you go too deep at wide receiver, then you're trying to. I can't do matchups with wide receivers because you cannot tell when that week is that they're going to hit. It's so much easier to identify weeks for running backs to play, which is why I will always build with tons of running backs and try to thin my wide receiver core out. And I'll do that through the season too. I'll start to trade wide receivers away because I just don't want to try and figure out which week. If I'm starting 4 wide receivers, I don't want to try and figure out which of my 6 I need to be starting.
Listen, if Christian Kirk's healthy, he's getting at least 125 targets if he has a healthy season.
Yeah.
You know?
Easily.
I mean, he could even flirt with 100 catches if he's the guy and Evan Ingram's there, and then you got Brian Thomas just hit those deep passes or whatever. Who knows? This is where I
think if Kirk actually stays healthy, he's probably looking at 135, 140 targets.
Yeah,
that's
not,
man.
Bring it.
Evan Ingram looking at 120 targets, 115, something like that.
So where's Tank Bisbee in your I don't know what you call it?
He looked great last offseason, got the yips, and was literally the worst producing running back in the NFL. Like, could not get out of his own way. And he's doing the exact same thing this year where he looks great again. I think he put up 55 yards in the last preseason game, like hitting the holes hard, making all the right reads. Like, he's doing it. But we just have to wait and see. The good news is he's been so cheap that you've been able to trade 4th round rookie picks to get in Tank Bigsby if you want to. And that profile, it doesn't have to hit in the first year for it to matter. There's a lot of 2nd-year hits from the 3rd round of the NFL draft at the running back position. And so Tank Bigsby, this is not homerism. Like, I just chase 3rd round running backs who haven't hit yet. He's probably one of my most rostered players just because he's so cheap. I mean, who knows? He's a great lottery ticket.
Slurp. What else we got, Justin?
Man, I think what we got is bedtime. That's what I got.
Oh, man.
I'm getting tired, brother.
Hey man, you're getting old. I have a question for Run DFF. When was the last time you went for a run? Oh,
It's been a long time.
whoa! And now, if you do go out for a run, how long is it going to be?
3 or 4 miles.
You'll just bust it. Yeah, that's my move. Just a 5K.
Yeah.
I don't know if probably 4, just because that was my minimum for so long. I would probably keep it at that.
Are you a marathoner?
Yeah.
Run DFF is a marathoner, man. Yeah, he did the
Yeah,
Boston
actually, I was
Marathon.
gonna
It came
ask
down
you.
to me.
You used to run ultras or something, right?
Yeah, my feet gave out. They look horrible, sort of in the heel. All the blood vessels they gave up on me, but I was doing 100 milers.
Yeah, that's what ultras will do to you, Tommy.
That's a fair point. I should have asked you. Should have stuck with marathons. I do the cycling thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I tore my ankle up last summer and
Ugh.
went through some physical therapy, and I was in a boot, then some physical therapy, did some running a little bit here and there for the physical therapist. And then I tried to start back up full time in December, and the ankle was still not right. I just hadn't been motivated to get going. So I got to pick a race. That way I can get going, because I like the competitive part of it. I mean, I love to run, but I need a race. I need a goal. So
Yeah.
this right here it's showing. It's showing after nearly about a year off.
It goes quickly though, doesn't it?
Yeah, when I finally get off the couch.
Yeah.
Hey.
And now hunting season's coming up, so I'm even less motivated. I'm like, oh, let me do all this other stuff. Yeah.
Do you hunt anything besides alligators?
Yeah. I like to hunt. I hunt deer, pigs, turkeys. Yeah, I like to hunt. So trying to go on a black bear hunt this fall. I'm not sure if it's going to pan out or not. Been trying to figure out.
He even hunts for berries. Do you hear that? What do you say, blackberry hunt? Well, let me know when you're going for strawberries, man. They'll go out with you. Jeez.
This guy.
Oh man. So hey, this is exciting. So what give us your charcuterie board of fantasy football stuff you got going on there, Tommy B.
Yeah, first I want to thank you guys for having me on. It was fun hanging out with you, hanging out with the Patreon members. I'm on Superflex Super Show with John Hogue every single week. We might be doing something a little different this year where we break it up into 2 episodes, get all the waiver moves out of the way early in the week so we can talk strategy later. That's really what we like to do. Sure. But yeah, socials at FF Tommy B, at Superflex Show, at Dynasty Junkies every Thursday. I think that's it for right now. May have a series coming out with my wife, Dr. Caitlin Fang. We've had these ideas kicking around for a while. We just haven't hit record.
You gonna turn her into a full-time podcaster?
She's so much better at this than I am. She was on. All right, so I know we're getting out of here in a minute.
No, hey man, we got no rush. Well, Run DFS.
Yeah, there really is. No, there really is no rush.
All right. So my wife is amazing. She invented this treatment for therapy and was on a podcast with somebody with multiple personalities and did like a 2-parter. And we got to meet all of the different parts of this collection of people. Incredible. She does that, and then she comes on with me and John, and we're just like peppering her with our dumb fantasy takes. I was like, she's so much better at this than any of us in this room.
Well, I'm intrigued by where you're going to drag her into the podcasting world, because she is fun to listen to, and she does. It's almost, she doesn't mock you guys by any means, but I can tell in her voice she's like, nope. Holy shit. I'm hearing this again.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Larry and
Hogue. Oh, nice.
Larry went to a Jets game out in Denver.
Yeah, we hung out. There you go. There's me in my Brett Favre jersey.
Oh, that's awesome. Brett Favre. Don't regret that jersey, huh?
Oh man. Yeah, right. That was, yeah. Now I can't wear it. Now I can't wear my Brett Favre jersey.
He's got worse ones than that.
I know. You should even see my Jets collection. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
We still have to give away the Aaron Rodgers jerseys.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Just before he doesn't have a career anymore.
I keep threatening to give away the Aaron Rodgers. We haven't done it yet. Let's do this. Let's do it. Maybe next week or something we'll do something about it. Next time we go
for,
like
maybe
super
for
live.
the first week. How about we do it for like the kickoff of the season or something like that?
Hey, what about Jaden Daniels real quick starting for us? That's kind of big news, right? Is it though?
Hold on, I dropped that in the Patreon.
I know,
as complete
yes.
sarcasm. No, it's not news. Is that news to you, Tommy B? That
No.
Jaden Daniels is starting?
Of course he's starting. What else were they going to do? Let's be honest.
Yeah, we're gonna start
It would have been
marketing
funny to
Mariota.
watch Mariota run around though for a little bit and just to get for no yards and get sacked.
That dude, I thought he was going to be something. When he was drafted to the Titans, I was scared shitless as a Jaguars fan. Like, dual threat, could do it all. Like, Giselle, you were right. Tom Brady can't do it all, but certainly Mariota could. But he's just a shell of himself. Like, he shouldn't be playing football anymore. It's not safe for that man.
He never developed. He never did read the field well, but he never developed that part of his game any further.
So again, you're down in North Carolina. Is there you got any Panthers skinny for us? Is there anything you're hearing down there?
Everyone hates the Panthers. Everyone hates Pepper. Like, it is a cesspool. I went to a game. I mean, there were probably. I mean, we're a quarter capacity at the stadium. Nobody gives a shit down here anymore.
It might be he might be the most hated owner in sports right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
good reason.
That's too bad. Well, Jonathan Brooks better get his shit together, and also, I mean, are they doing any? I haven't been paying much attention to the Panthers as much as I should, but I don't know. What about Xavier Legette? What's his story?
I'm cautiously optimistic on him. When everyone hates a player with good draft capital, it's
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
That might be someone I want to buy into. You know,
Tommy digging.
I'm kind of excited about the Bone. I have like one Bo Nix, and I'm like, all right, Bo Nix.
Yeah, smartest guy in the room. Huh?
Why you gotta just that's just the best part of being in a bunch of leagues. I love just taking stabs on guys that I don't have. I'm like, I don't have this guy. That plays a part in my like strategy. I'm like, I don't have this guy in this league. Bo Nix. Yeah. I grab Bo Nix with like the whatever. I don't even know.
If I offered you JJ McCarthy today for your Bo Nix, you taking it?
I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah.
No.
You think I should?
No.
No. Like that's just a hypothetical, Larry. No, I don't think that you can do that. You got to hold on to Nix after what he's done in the preseason so far.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Really fast. And I don't know if anyone wants to go anywhere. Dickie sent me a blockbuster in the Hot Sauce Listener League, which is 14 team
offer sent, and you said it was interesting, and then we all waited on it.
Was kind of waiting for he was sent me. He goes send you a deal in the Hot Sauce League. This is in our patron because we have like a super cool
14-team 3-copy league. So
it's a 14-team 3-copy league. He says, I sent you a trade. And normally when you're like, all right, yada yada yada, let's jump on this.
Let's hear it. Come on, Larry.
All right, Deshaun Watson, Garrett Wilson, David Njoku, or JJ McCarthy, Drake London, George Kittle.
So he would be getting the Watson, Wilson, and Njoku because he's a contender.
He wants to give me Watson, Wilson, and Njoku for McCarthy, London, Kittle.
Interesting.
That was my response in the chat. You said the same word that I responded.
It's interesting that it's 3 of the same position. Like quarterback, wide receiver, tight end.
It's really a roll of the dice on the quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
It's just window dressing around Deshaun Watson.
Very lateral moves otherwise. Yeah.
I mean, is JJ McCarthy going to ascend, or is he just going to be like one of these random bust QBs? And they all are like half of them are bust, more than half first round QBs.
No, bust. I don't know that he's going to bust because he's going to retain his value all year this year. He's where he is now is where he will be next August, and that's almost guaranteed. Right. Like it's not even like it's not an Achilles or an ACL. It's just the meniscus is something that you can't get back in.
It's just the Wilson. It's the Wilson tease that gets me.
Well, yeah it is because he's playing at your heartstrings there.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like Garrett Wilson tease.
What I would do is I would counter and scrape away the other shit. This is a quarterback for quarterback deal. Get something extra. Get a 2-for-1 if you're willing to do this type of deal.
Oh, get rid of Kittle.
Mm-hmm. Get rid of all that. Yeah.
Well, no, because Larry. The only reason that Larry's really interested is because it has Garrett Wilson in it. So that has to be part of it.
Well, the Wilson
Because-
piece is like,
Because
that's the only reason I
the
would.
Jets fan up there. Remember the Jets fan up there.
All right, fair enough.
That'd be
You're
like if someone, yeah, you know.
I actually traded him Garrett Wilson, so like
Right.
I'd be getting him back. I don't know.
Didn't you trade him Wilson for a London deal? Like, wasn't that part of the package?
I don't even know. No, there was like CJ Stroud was involved. This is a while back.
It was this year though.
I don't know, man. I don't remember.
It's all. Look, there's too much going on in that league for me trying to remember what happened in one.
I also have a weird one here. I mean, where do you fall on the Watson one anyway? Did you say? You're a Watson lover.
Pretty strong lean to the Watson side.
Strong Watson. Where you run DFF? The Watson guy.
I'm not a Watson guy anymore.
I mean, not since you stopped giving massages. You're not a Watson guy.
Yeah.
In your dream.
Yeah, I probably lean Watson Wilson. Yeah, I lean Watson Wilson.
Really? Oh man, I just love those magic boxes though on the right. You know, the
Yeah,
Drake
now you gotta
London
wait
with
a whole
brand new
year for
QB.
Now you got to wait a whole year for that magic box.
You're right.
That's the only problem. Is it?
And I get
You
Garrett
don't get
Wilson.
to open that magic box at all for a year.
So you're still saying counter, Tommy? What do you think?
I'd counter. I'd pare this deal down. The thing is, this is a 14-team league. I know everyone hates Deshaun Watson because he's a dirtbag, but in 14-team, the math changes a little bit because people need quarterbacks. It's not like a 12-team league where you can work around a Deshaun Watson. So you do have more trade opportunities down the line if you want to pursue that.
So you think I should leave JJ McCarthy off the table? I feel like that's the piece he wants the most.
Yeah, I think
London.
I'd be asking for a QB swap with an adder on top.
Mm.
McCarthy and Watson with, have an adder on your
There's
side.
got to be something on top of Watson to get McCarthy at this point, just because of the allure.
So I should go with I should count it with the 4 for 3 instead of the 3 for 3.
Make it more complicated.
Bigger.
What?
Bigger. Yeah,
So
Tommy,
I have another offer here while we're on
the try and pare a deal down with Larry. You were wrong. Right?
the block.
Always more. It's never less.
Bigger the
You
better.
can trade rosters.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is Njoku over Kittle? It's also the Watson hookup,
lateral.
huh?
That's lateral in value. Kittle probably scores more points than him this year, but it might be a little bit less consistent.
Even London Wilson's really.
That's what I'm saying. It's window dressing, man. Like I do prefer Kittle over Njoku, but not by anything I'd add value to.
Right.
I don't know. But so look at this beauty. Rashad White and Brendan Rice for Wicks and Kittle.
Huh.
This is all listener league stuff, folks.
Does anyone think that Tommy? How do you feel about Dontavian Wicks? Do you think he's ever anything, or is he just a guy that's going to catch 700 or 800 yards in a good season?
This is where yards per route run leads us astray. We hone in on these stats and say that they're everything. He was a great target when he was free. Now he's not. He's in a muddled wide receiver room where you're going to have to pick. And we just said, 30 minutes ago, we don't want to pick. Why would we want to pick out of this group of wide receivers who are all pretty good? I would rather move laterally off of literally any Green Bay Packers wide receiver into a different player on a different team who has the same odds of hitting. That way I don't have to make those types of guesses.
Yeah. One move that I've seen is Jaden Reed for Rashee Rice.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that you may have lost some steam on that because Rashee Rice hasn't been suspended yet. But that was one that I saw happen a couple times. It was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I really like that one.
Into an offense where you've seen him excel. Hollywood's hurt already. Got a rookie, and then Travis Kelce getting older.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to move Wicks into an old guy. Try to move maybe into like Keenan Allen or something right now because they're saying he's 230 pounds. That's the type of move I'd try to make.
Yeah, I don't think that Dontavian Wicks is a big part of that trade. I guess was my point. Like of all that, really, it's just for Rashad White for George Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it becomes like, is this the listener league, Larry?
Yep.
Man, they really were trying to capitalize on your drinking last week.
So Ryan Williams just went in that Devy draft right after Ma. Micah Hudson, and he was a big time. He's an Alabama wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hyped up as well. He's no Micah Hudson though.
Not according to people who know things. I don't know.
And Jackson Arnold still sitting out there. What? Hey, like that Kevin Concepcion guy. Nothing.
I don't know, Larry. We were talking about something entirely different.
Anyway, sorry, my bad.
There goes Larry's ADD.
I don't know. Rashad White. I saw something on some idiot tweet. Was there something? Maybe this guy knows something. He thinks Bucky Irving's gonna unseat him as RB1 there.
That's somebody looking for clickbait. I would unfollow that guy.
Yeah.
Like mute him. Golly. People will say some shitty stuff just for clicks in August.
That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, this guy's out of his mind. Fucking White was the man last year.
I can't stand Rashad White. I'll stand up for draft capital and terrible running metrics. Like, he was the most inefficient running back at running the football last year. He was horrible.
But so Bucky White is your guy?
Irving.
Bucky
It
Irving?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's so many running backs to choose from. Why do we have to hone in on one team? Just get rid of Rashad White, cash in and get a different running back. There's a million of them.
Man, you're going to get rid of Rashad White's 70 targets last year and 58 the year before. Woo.
Sure.
Gosh, I couldn't do it.
It's
See,
not.
I don't care about his rushing metrics. Because if he's going to get 60 or 70 targets, that's 50 or 60 catches. That's a difference maker.
How did you word that? Angels, the phrase you just said. What did you say? Do you remember just now? Something about angels?
Who's that? Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember anything.
Dang it. Me neither. That's why I interrupt people so much. Everything just slips my mind. Goes in really fast and out really fast. Yeah. I write it down too, and I was like, oh man, he just said something that I
Here's part of the problem with those targets, though, is they aren't first read targets. They're late in the play dump offs. If you're not a good runner, you're not going to be on the field as much. If you've got equivalent pass protectors at the running back position where we don't have to have this high snap share at the running back spot, like, he's not going to be on the field as much. He's not going to get those moments of opportunity that he was last year. And this is not a profile that repeats. It's just not. Get out while you can. This is the value at point.
We'll have to agree to disagree there, because I think the profile is fine because he's good in pass protection. He's a great receiving back. And we've been looking for receiving backs for years. We finally get the guy who is adequate as far as the team is concerned, adequate on first and second down and great on third down.
Yeah.
And you want to just dump him like that hussy who cheated on you in high school.
Oh, dang it.
Yep.
How'd that go down?
This is that faithful, loyal girlfriend that you should never dump. Until you get to college.
0 shares for FF Tommy B on Rashad White.
Wow. How many Bucky Irving
say we'd be great trade partners, except you wouldn't have any Rashad White to trade me.
I've been trading away Bucky Irving. I got into Kamani Vidal, so I have fewer of him. I'm looking it up right now.
You're a Kamani Vidal guy?
Over Bucky Irving. I have 6 shares of Bucky Irving. And Sean Tucker.
4 too many.
Sean Tucker? What?
Yeah, I've got some Sean Tucker too.
How many Kenny McIntosh do you have?
0. I have 28 Sean Tuckers. But you got to remember, I roster 4 times as many running backs as I do wide receivers. It's not that I'm.
Oh, so you're a running backs guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, that's what we were talking about. No one wants to hold on to those wide receivers that you got to guess upon every week. So,
all right. So who's your top 5 RBs right now?
No,
so you just throw out a nice rank right there real quick.
Like top 5 scoring
top
running
5
back?
overall. No, so
he's asking about
your top 5 favorite RBs.
My top 5 favorite RBs. All right. CMC, easy one. Jonathan Taylor, I think, is the second most likely to finish as the RB1 overall.
Hot. I love it.
Really love him.
Not really, but it is.
It's a little bit spicy because he doesn't have the receiving profile.
Yep. Yeah. And rushing quarterback who has crazy athletic metrics that will probably
goal line carries, right?
Theoretically, yeah. I don't think that's going to happen though. Not this year. Bijan is John Hogue's Infinity Stone, so I have to honor that. And then after that, like, I don't know, it's kind of a mess. That's the end of the bell cow list, in my opinion, that isn't 30 years old. And so,
Breece Hall?
no, I'm not in on Breece Hall.
What?
No.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot of ceiling there,
Down.
but he's really inefficient. He's really, really inefficient. He has a lot of really bad plays that he makes up for with great plays. He's Kenneth Walker plus, in my opinion.
Oh my God. He catches balls out of the backfield. And when he first burst onto the scene, he was like the overall 101 in dynasty formats. Remember that?
It'd be
That
different.
was weird. That was crazy. I mean, they go that this happens too. They get a Breece Hall being the 101. I mean, back in the day, it was DK Metcalf was the 101. Juju was like for like a brief flicker was the 101 overall in dynasty. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the like we talked about Debbie taking you drafted Debbie guy and they turned to shit. These dynasty guys too, man, up and down.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yeah. Sorry to shit on some of your favorite players.
I know. Run DFF's texting me. He's like, "Fucking get this guy out of here."
It's like an hour.
All right, man. Well, what do you say, Justin? Should we start up the cruiser and get back out into outer space to our next?
Yeah, we gotta get the zigger. We gotta get the zigger off of this podcast.
Are we still zigging or are we zagging now?
He's zigging like a mug.
Hey, Tommy B in the hizzy. Let's get the fizzy out of hizzy. Thanks for listening to the Dynasty Hot Sauce Pod.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, baby. Wrap it up.
Fun stuff, guys.
Thanks
for being a trooper, Tommy.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this was fantastic. Thanks so much for hopping on with us, man. We love having guests on.
Well, why don't you guys come on Super Show sometime soon?
Oh, that would
Shouldn't
be
wait
nice.
a year. You know, it'd be fun.
I have to redeem myself. I'll try not to laugh.
That's true. Yeah,
we'll be straight faced. Hello.
I know. It just what? This guy fucking laughs too much. What kind of guy is just like, that guy laughs too much? What the fuck?
That guy's never gonna listen to Super Show, Super Show again. Like,
fucking who cares?
I know. But I was
really
like, you
feel
fucking
about it.
kidding me, man? Like, and I don't like I don't search out for the reviews and stuff. When you're messing with the pod, sometimes you come across them, and I was like, "You fucking serious, this motherfucker?"
I gotta go look. I have not looked at reviews in so long.
No, I haven't.
I have some podcasts I need to leave reviews for,
and
I haven't.
Right. You gotta do more of that, man. Yeah, everyone has to spread the love because I feel like it's important, especially when you get like a shit one from like that one. It doesn't do it doesn't, and he's just like 1 star. Like, who the fuck is? I feel like that guy. That's like personal. That guy must.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy has never listened to anything, and he was just wanting to be a dick.
Which is, quite literally the internet in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Anywhere you go.
All right, y'all. I gotta jump off. I'm asking for $40 million tomorrow from my boss. So
what, to leave town? Like, where you headed, man? Remote island.
I'm trying to make them carbon neutral. I got this whole plan that I built out for them, and tomorrow's the day. So
I have a big time solar. My next door neighbor is a big super solar panel guy. So if you ever want to get into that, let me know. Hook you guys up. He's like he does like Tesla's. He's like a big Tesla solar guy.
Super wall or whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a big solar panel guy.
I keep thinking I'm about to do the same thing with solar on my house. Electricity.
Maybe he'll come out there. He headquarters in South Carolina.
I'm gonna have to DIY mine because I can't afford to pay these $90,000.
Why wouldn't Run DFF put the fucking solar panels on himself?
Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll try to source it and then find an installer because I don't want to be on the roof trying to haul around these solar panels.
My days of going on a roof are way over. All right, Tommy, man, appreciate it, man.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
See you, Tommy.
Nice.
Oh man, got into the woods the other day. Last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Got into the woods, got some work done, some roads cleared because we had some trees fall. Was going to go back out this weekend, and my buddy had COVID. I'm like, dadgummit.
I heard that's like making a comeback.
It is. There's like some sort of strain or something going around. One of my bosses or one of my wife's coworkers got sick, so we had to cancel Dungeons and Dragons on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
we're gonna go play D&D.
D&D.
Yeah, my wife's coworkers. Yeah, I heard this dude talk on Superflex. So my wife's like little team at work plays Dungeons and Dragons, and I jumped in one time a while back, and then they wanted to do another one. They were like, "Yeah, you can come again." I was like, "Yeah, sure." So
Nice.
yeah, all these nerdy computer folks.
Yeah, I literally missed that earlier. I was like, when you started talking, I just figured you were in. Like, I thought it was like a fantasy draft you got in with like some.
No, I was drafting. It was so
You were
creepy
drafting
and
kids.
weird. We had to, and before we drafted, we had to go through and grade the players. A,
What are
B,
you
or C.
coaching?
Yeah.
What are you coaching?
6 and 7-year-old girls soccer.
Oh, nice.
I ain't really coach. I mean, we'll do some drills and stuff like that, but really, it's just like, all right, y'all go have fun. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
And these folks wanna freaking. I mean, they were like dogging some of these little girls. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's a bit early to start. Was it? I mean, it's a travel team, I guess. Like, what are they looking about? We're looking for. They're all the same age, pretty much. So, what the hell is what's the rating for?
Right. So that we could
Oh,
draft them and get even teams or whatever. They wanted even teams.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I gave Frankie's a B. She's just average.
Sure.
My buddy, he gave his daughter a C. She's a little less athletic, and so we were honest about that. Like, okay, they're.
Listen, I'll tell you exactly from my experiences. The only kids that are any good are the ones that have older siblings at this age. Any kid that's got an older sibling that's going to be like better at sports.
You know what? I should have scouted that more because we were in there looking up these players, like looking up their parents to see if we knew their parents or whatever.
I'm your guy. I'll tell you exactly how to do it.
I like that theory on that, though. Older siblings, because they have to get tougher and they have to play a little bit differently. Yeah.
Every kid that has an older sibling is the best. That's how the tier is on the softball in the softball league.
Yeah.
And it's like there's not a kid in the top 5 that doesn't have like an older brother.
Yeah, Frankie's gonna end up being like a B+ player.
Yeah.
In this, which is all fine and dandy, but I mean, like, I don't want to degrade 6 and 7-year-old kids.
There's
they suck.
Some shit just went down in the softball league Cassidy's in. Like, she was on one of the best teams,
right?
And they just advanced to the next stage, and they shook up the teams, and they brought her down one, which is the fucked up part is it's the team that she's been on since she's been 6. Like, like, so it's a team it's like being on a team the original member of the team.
Yeah.
And they knocked her down one, but the plus side is, like, she wants to pitch, and she'll be pitching every single game.
Oh, so she'll be excited about that.
Right, yeah. She's excited about that. It was really kind of shady how this kind of went down. But, I mean, her particular team has, like, 6 coaches, which is ridiculous. And there's only 10 kids on a team. So she got kind of priced out of that team.
Sure.
Just because of that reason alone. The 6 coaches represent 5 kids, which is half the team. And then you have 5 kids with older brothers. That's how I know this. That's how I was just like, wow. After I did my own like analysis of all of this nonsense, I was like, wow, every kid that they kept on this team is like an older brother, and they are good. They're all very good.
Right.
Yeah.
They likely deserve to be there.
Well, they usually, yeah. They and I think and one kid that she's better than made it, and she like, but their family's a sponsor, which is, I guess, you spend a bunch of money on the Springfield softball. And so
right.
It's this political stuff going on, and I don't know. They had more kids sign up than they wanted, so they had to split the teams into 3 teams instead of 2. Instead of like having these only 10 kids play, so it's like 15 kids a team.
Oh man, yeah.
So they had to split it into 3 teams. So it's like you're starting 10 players. Your whole roster is just a starting lineup with no bench. So it's all really weird.
Everyone has to show up, or you're not playing.
Right, because they had so many kids, but not enough kids at the same time. So they had to like
We're
split up.
doing.
Yeah, they shook up all 3 teams.
We were gonna have 8 teams, and there were 59 or there were 60 kids. So we're gonna have 8 teams with 60 kids.
Soccer.
So 7 or 8 per team. Well, then they added another coach, and so now it's 6 or 7 per team. We have 7. There's like 6 teams with 7 players and 3 teams with 6 players. And the lineup is 4 kids and a goalie, so 5 on the field. So if you have two people not show up to one of those 6 people, 6 person teams.
Oh, it'll happen too.
Oh, I know, absolutely, it'll happen.
Look, Jackson Arnold is a turnover machine. I'm just looking. This is 32 minutes ago.
Hold on, I'm pulling this up. Jackson Arnold. What did he do last year?
I just looked at. Well, I
didn't do much.
College football back this week, so fuck it. 10 fan bases that should be ready for disappointment this season. Oklahoma. Venables still hasn't had a defense worth a damn. Lost their entire O-line, and QB and Jackson Arnold is a turnover machine. That sounds just like a big hater. He's just ragging on.
That's kind of what that is, yeah.
Because I pick again in like 2 picks, so. And I'm happy to. I'm looking at Kevin Concepcion, which is a wide receiver, 2026. I'm looking at Davin Edwards as a running back. Barry Brown, Kentucky. That's near it. So southern guy right there.
I was gonna try and look up. So let's see here.
Justice Haynes is a running back out of Alabama.
He's 26, NFL quarterback class or prospects there. All right. So let's see here. Here. Dante Moore, Malachi Nelson. They got Jackson Arnold going at the top of the second in this.
Okay.
Do
you have any insight on Malachi Nelson at all?
Do I have any insight?
Yeah.
Draft him if you can't. Is he not taken already?
No, he just got he lost the starting job of the team that he transferred to. He's the second quarterback in Boise State.
Do what?
Malachi Nelson got demoted.
Maddox Madsen is the starter.
Right.
Yikes. That's not great. That's never great.
Right.
It's shocking that he transferred from USC. Like he was lined. He must have gotten some money.
I mean, that's some intel right there that they should be.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nelson was a favorite to win the starting job. Ranked as the number 13 overall player and number 5 quarterback.
He's a 5-star recruit. I mean, he was like a top guy.
Threw just 1 pass at USC and played 2023 season as the 3rd string quarterback. Man. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I got so I'm waiting for Ruben to update this stuff with all of our, because you have to, like, we did the draft just like you're doing, where we pick a player and then write them in or whatever. But I'm waiting to see, like, I want to really see all my guys. Like, I grabbed Luther Burden, so I have him now. Who else did I do? I got Luke Lachey or whatever. Who else? What other tight ends did I get? Oscar Delp, the Georgia
tight end. Yeah.
And I got Colston Loveland. So I got those 3 tight ends. I loaded up on tight ends and quarterback.
Cornering the upcoming tight end market.
Yeah, and then I also have Shedeur Sanders, DJ Lagway. These are all guys. I got Dylan Raiola and Jalen Milroe in this rookie thing, and not to mention I already have Dante Moore on my roster. So I'm loaded up and I have Quinn Ewers. So I'm loaded up in Devy quarterbacks. So now it's just a matter of hoping that one or two of them hit out of all those. Yeah.
I guess I'm
I'm
going to
loaded
take
at
this.
wide receiver.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Well, I got all those guys, plus I have Malik Neighbors and Xavier Worthy on my roster already.
I think I'm going to take this Watson, Wilson, and Njoku deal. Give up
Uh-huh.
McCarthy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I also just have Jaden Daniels, so it's like rolling with two rookies. I don't know. I guess I should just take it. Wilson over London. Fuck yeah, man! I'm taking this. Kittle and Njoku. Is Njoku going to fall off that much that he can't be George Kittle's fucking floor?
Well, I don't know about George Kittle's floor because George Kittle was, again, pretty good last year.
Yeah, he was a monster.
He was good. Didn't he lead the league in receiving for tight ends? His issue is inconsistency, but if if it's a start 11 or something like that, inconsistency.
They were like a Super Bowl team, and he had 90 targets, only 6 touchdowns, 1,000-yard, 65 receptions, a lot of mouths to feed still. And according to Ruben, they're going to keep Ayuk.
We'll see. There's so much questions. I thought he was gone, but we'll see.
I mean, oof. Njoku had 81 recepts, 123 targets.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
123 targets versus 90. It's an extra 30 targets, basically. I'm taking this. No doubt about it. All right. See you later, JJ McCarthy. It was nice knowing you.
I'm going to get out of here, brother.
All right, man.
All right. I'll catch you later, man.
Later.
Later.